Every day, whether you realize it or not, your mind is shaping the direction of your life. Before you take action, before you make a decision, before you speak a single word, a thought appears in your mind. Those thoughts influence your emotions influence your actions, and your actions create your results. This cycle repeats itself over and over until it becomes your reality. That is why the quality of your life is deeply connected to the quality of your thinking. If you want different results, you must first develop a different mindset. The external world often reflects the internal world. Change what is happening inside your mind, and you begin changing what happens around you. Many people believe success is determined by talent, luck, education, or the opportunities they receive. While those things can play a role, they are not the foundation of lasting success. The greatest difference between those who achieve extraordinary things and those who remain stuck is the story they continuously tell themselves. If someone believes they are capable, they will search for ways to succeed. If someone believes they are destined to fail, they will unconsciously look for reasons to quit. The mind always works to prove what it already believes. That is why your beliefs become powerful forces that influence every decision you make. Think about the words you repeat to yourself every single day. Are they building your confidence or are they weakening it? Do you wake up expecting opportunities or do you expect problems? Do you believe challenges are preparing you for something greater, or do you see them as proof that life is unfair? Your answers reveal the blueprint your mind is following. Every repeated thought becomes stronger with time. Eventually, those thoughts stop feeling like opinions and start feeling like facts. Yet many of those beliefs were never true to begin with. They were simply accepted because they were repeated often enough. Imagine carrying a map that always leads you in the wrong direction. No matter how hard you work or how fast you move, you will continue arriving at the wrong destination. Negative thinking works the same way. It convinces you that your limitations are permanent, that your mistakes define you, and that success belongs to someone else. But the map can be changed. The moment you choose new beliefs, you create a new direction for your life. Your mind begins noticing possibilities that were always there but hidden behind fear and doubt. Your brain is constantly learning from repetition. Whatever you practice becomes easier. If you practice worry every day, worrying becomes automatic. If you practice gratitude every day, appreciation becomes natural. If you practice confidence by taking small, courageous actions, confidence grows stronger. Success is not only built through physical habits, but also through mental habits. The thoughts you entertain repeatedly become part of your identity. That is why you must become intentional about what you allow to stay in your mind. There will always be moments when negative thoughts appear. No one is completely free from fear, uncertainty, or self-doubt. The difference is that successful people refuse to give those thoughts permanent residence. They acknowledge them without allowing them to take control. They replace fear with purpose, doubt with preparation, and excuses with action. Every time you challenge a negative belief instead of accepting it, you strengthen a new way of thinking. Over time, your mind becomes conditioned to search for answers instead of obstacles. Your environment also influences the reality your mind creates. The conversations you have, the content you consume, the people you spend time with, and the information you feed yourself all shape your thinking. If you constantly surround yourself with negativity, criticism, and hopelessness, your mind absorbs those messages. But when you intentionally choose uplifting influences, educational material, inspiring conversations, and people who encourage growth, your perspective begins to change. Protecting your mindset is just as important as protecting your physical health, because your future is built upon the thoughts you nurture every day. Visualization is another powerful way to rewire your thinking. Before great achievements become visible in the real world, they often begin as clear pictures in the mind. When you consistently imagine yourself succeeding, overcoming obstacles, and becoming stronger, your actions gradually align with that vision. You begin carrying yourself differently. You speak with greater certainty. You make decisions with more confidence. Your mind starts treating success as something familiar rather than something impossible. Remember that every achievement in history was first created in someone's imagination before it became reality. Every invention, every business, every movement, and every breakthrough began as an idea that someone refused to abandon. The same principle applies to your own life. The future you desire starts with the thoughts you choose today. Every positive belief strengthens your determination. Every hopeful thought expands your possibilities. Every intentional action confirms the new identity you are building. Your reality is never created by a single thought alone, but by the thousands of thoughts you consistently choose to believe and act upon. Negative beliefs are often invisible chains. You cannot see them, you cannot touch them, yet they quietly control the decisions you make every single day. They whisper that you are not talented enough, not intelligent enough, not experienced enough, or not worthy enough to achieve your dreams. Over time, these thoughts stop sounding like opinions and begin sounding like facts. The greatest danger is not that these beliefs exist, but that you accept them without questioning where they came from. Most limiting beliefs were never born from truth. They were created by past failures, criticism, disappointments, comparisons, or moments when fear became louder than faith. The moment you recognize that these beliefs are learned rather than permanent, you realize they can also be replaced. Too many people make the mistake of turning temporary failures into permanent identities. They don't simply say, "I failed." They begin saying, "I am a failure." There is a tremendous difference between those two statements. One describes an event, while the other defines a person. A mistake is something you experience, not something you become. Every successful individual has failed repeatedly, but they refuse to let those failures decide who they were. Instead of allowing one difficult moment to become their identity, they treat it as information, feedback, and preparation for the next opportunity. Think about a child learning to walk. That child falls over and over again, yet nobody looks at the child and says they are destined to crawl forever. Every fall is expected because it is part of learning. Adults, however, often judge themselves differently. One rejection, one business setback, one poor decision, or one missed opportunity becomes enough to convince them they should stop trying. The standard becomes unfair. They expect perfection from themselves while growth always requires mistakes. If you can change the way you interpret failure, you change the way you approach every challenge in life. Your inner dialogue has extraordinary power. Every day you are engaged in conversations with yourself, whether you notice them or not. Those conversations influence your confidence more than the opinions of anyone else. If your internal voice constantly repeats, "I can't do this," your responds with hesitation. Your energy decreases, your focus disappears. But when your internal voice begins saying, "I will learn, I will improve, and I will keep moving forward," your attitude changes. You become more resourceful because your mind begins searching for solutions instead of excuses. Positive self-talk is not pretending that problems do not exist. It is choosing language that empowers you instead of defeating you. There is a difference between saying, "This challenge is impossible," and saying, "This challenge is difficult, but I can figure it out." The problem remains the same, but your mindset changes completely. Your words shape your emotional state, and your emotional state influences the quality of your decisions. Strong people are not those who never experience doubt. They are people who refuse to let doubt become the loudest voice in their minds. Confidence is not something you are born with. It is something you build through repeated experiences. Every promise you keep to yourself strengthens your self-belief. Every challenge you face, instead of avoiding, becomes evidence that you are stronger than you once believed. Confidence grows when your actions consistently support your words. If you tell yourself you are capable, then take action despite uncertainty. Your brain begins collecting proof that your new belief is true. This is how empowering beliefs become deeply rooted. You must also be careful about the labels you accept from other people. Throughout life, someone may tell you that you are too quiet, too ordinary, too old, too young, or incapable of succeeding. Those opinions only become powerful when you decide to believe them. Never allow someone else's limited vision to become the blueprint for your future. People judge you based on what they have seen, but your potential is based on what you are willing to become. The opinions of others are temporary, but the beliefs you choose to hold shape your destiny. Replacing negative beliefs requires consistency. One positive thought cannot erase years of self-doubt overnight. Just as unhealthy habits are built through repetition, empowering beliefs are strengthened through daily practice. Every morning, choose thoughts that support your goals. Speak to yourself with encouragement rather than criticism. Celebrate progress instead of demanding perfection. Focus on your strengths while continuing to improve your weaknesses. Every time you reject a limiting belief and replace it with an empowering one, you create a stronger mental foundation. Eventually, you begin seeing yourself differently. Challenges no longer feel like proof that you should quit. They become opportunities to grow stronger. Mistakes stop defining your identity and start refining your character. The confidence you build no longer depends on perfect circumstances because it comes from the knowledge that your mindset is stronger than your obstacles. Your belief in yourself becomes the fuel that keeps you moving forward, even when the path is uncertain, and every empowering thought becomes another step toward the person you are determined to become. Your focus is one of the most powerful forces shaping your life. Wherever your attention goes, your energy follows. Every day, your mind is processing thousands of thoughts, countless conversations, and endless distractions, but only a small percentage of those things receive your full attention. The direction of your focus determines the direction of your life. If you spend most of your time thinking about obstacles, disappointments, and fears, Your mind becomes trained to notice more of them. If you intentionally focus on opportunities, growth, and solutions, your mind begins searching for ways to create better outcomes. Success is not simply about working harder. It is about directing your mental energy toward what truly matters. Many people become trapped because they constantly replay their problems. They wake up thinking about what went wrong yesterday. They spend the day worrying about what might go wrong tomorrow. As a result, they miss the opportunities standing right in front of them. Problems deserve attention only long enough to understand them. After that, your attention should shift toward finding answers. Every minute spent complaining is a minute taken away from creating progress. Complaints rarely change circumstances, but focused action often does. Imagine driving a car while staring only at the rearview mirror. You would constantly be distracted by what is behind you instead of paying attention to the road ahead. That is exactly how many people live. They remain focused on past failures, broken relationships, missed opportunities, and painful memories. While those experiences may have shaped them, they do not have to determine where they are going. Your future requires your attention far more than your past. Learn from yesterday, but build today. Every moment you remain trapped in old disappointments is a moment stolen from new possibilities. Your brain naturally notices whatever you repeatedly focus on. If you decide to buy a particular car, you suddenly begin seeing that model everywhere. The cars were always there, but now your attention has been directed toward them. Life works in a similar way. When you focus on excuses, you notice more reasons to quit. When you focus on possibilities, you begin recognizing doors that were previously invisible. Opportunities often exist long before people notice them. The difference lies in what they have trained their minds to seek. There will always be circumstances outside your control. You cannot control the weather, the economy, other people's opinions, or unexpected setbacks. However, you always have the power to choose your response. Successful people understand that energy wasted on things they cannot control is energy unavailable for the things they can influence. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" they ask, "What can I do next?" That simple shift transforms frustration into action. It replaces helplessness with responsibility and creates momentum even during difficult seasons. Growth begins the moment you stop asking why life is difficult and start asking how you can become stronger because of it. Every challenge carries a lesson, but you will only discover it if your attention is directed toward learning rather than complaining. Some people experience setbacks and become bitter. Others experience the same setbacks and become wiser. The difference is not the challenge itself, but the focus they choose. Your perspective has the power to transform obstacles into opportunities for personal development. Distractions are one of the greatest enemies of focus. Modern life constantly competes for your attention. Notifications, social media, unnecessary comparisons, endless entertainment, and negative conversations pull your mind in countless directions. Every distraction weakens your ability to concentrate on what truly matters. If you want extraordinary results, you must become intentional about protecting your attention. Give your best energy to meaningful work, valuable relationships, personal growth, and the goals that move your life forward. What you consistently pay attention to eventually shapes who you become. Another powerful habit is learning to ask better questions. Your mind responds to the questions you ask yourself every day. If you constantly ask, "Why am I so unlucky?" your brain searches for evidence to support that belief. But if you ask, "What opportunity exists in this situation?" or "What lesson can I learn today?" your brain begins searching for constructive answers. Better questions create better thinking, and better thinking leads to better decisions. The quality of your life is often determined by the quality of the questions you ask yourself. Focus also requires patience. Results rarely appear immediately. Many people lose sight of their goals because they expect instant success. They plant a seed today and expect fruit tomorrow. Real growth happens gradually through consistent effort. Every small improvement matters. Every disciplined action builds momentum. Every focused day strengthens the foundation for future success. When you stay committed to the process instead of becoming discouraged by temporary delays, your confidence grows stronger with every step you take. Your attention is a priceless resource that cannot be replaced once it is spent. Choose carefully where you invest it. Focus on solutions instead of problems. Focus on progress instead of perfection. Focus on learning instead of fearing failure. Focus on the opportunities that exist today rather than the limitations that existed yesterday. Every decision to direct your attention toward growth strengthens your mindset, sharpens your vision, expands your potential, and moves you closer to the life you have the power to create. Discipline is the quiet force that separates dreams from reality. Many people believe success belongs to those who are constantly motivated, inspired, or excited, but motivation is one of the most unreliable emotions you can depend on. Some mornings you wake up feeling unstoppable, ready to conquer every challenge. Other mornings, your energy disappears, your confidence feels weak, and every excuse seems reasonable. If your progress depends only on how you feel, your results will always be inconsistent. Real success is built by people who have learned to act even when they do not feel like it. They understand that emotions come and go, but commitment remains. Negativity often enters your life through moments of inconsistency. You skip one workout, delay one important task, avoid one difficult conversation, or postpone one opportunity. At first, these decisions appear harmless, but they slowly become habits. Soon your mind begins creating stories to justify those choices. You start telling yourself that tomorrow will be a better day, next week will be the perfect time, or someday everything will finally come together. Meanwhile, your goals remain exactly where they were because good intentions never replace consistent action. Discipline breaks this cycle. It teaches you to honor your commitments regardless of your mood. Instead of asking yourself whether you feel motivated, discipline asks a different question. What needs to be done right now? That simple shift changes everything. You stop negotiating with your excuses and start following your purpose. Every disciplined action sends a message to your mind that your goals are more important than your temporary feelings. Think about a professional athlete preparing for an important competition. They cannot afford to train only on the days they feel energetic. They show up when it is raining, when they are tired, when progress feels slow, and when nobody is watching. They understand that greatness is built during the ordinary days, not just during moments of excitement. The same principle applies to every area of life. Whether you are building a career, improving your health, strengthening relationships, or pursuing a dream, your consistency matters far more than occasional bursts of motivation. Your brain is constantly forming habits. Every repeated action strengthens a pathway in your mind. The more often you choose discipline over comfort, the easier discipline becomes. Likewise, the more often you choose procrastination, the stronger that habit grows. This is why your daily decisions matter so much. Success is rarely created by one extraordinary effort. It is created by hundreds of small decisions repeated with determination over weeks, months, and years. Small actions may seem insignificant in the moment, but together they shape your character and determine your future. Negativity loses its power when discipline becomes your lifestyle. Fear tells you to wait until you are ready. Discipline tells you to begin now. Doubt tells you that you might fail. Discipline reminds you that every expert was once a beginner. Anxiety encourages you to overthink every detail. Discipline directs your attention toward taking the next practical step. Instead of allowing negative thoughts to control your behavior, disciplined people allow their values and commitments to guide their actions. One of the greatest misconceptions is believing that disciplined people have easier lives. In reality, they simply make difficult choices earlier. They choose to wake up before it feels comfortable. They choose preparation instead of procrastination. They choose learning instead of endless entertainment. They choose long-term rewards over short-term pleasure. Those choices are not always easy, but they create a life filled with greater freedom, confidence, and achievement. Avoiding discipline may feel comfortable today, but it often creates greater difficulties tomorrow. Discipline also strengthens self-respect. Every promise you keep to yourself builds trust in your own character. When you say you will complete a task and you follow through, your confidence grows. When you repeatedly break promises to yourself, self-doubt begins to replace confidence. The relationship you have with yourself is built on your actions more than your intentions. Keeping your commitments, even the small ones, teaches your mind that you are someone who can be relied upon. There will always be distractions competing for your attention. There will always be reasons to delay your goals. The world offers endless opportunities to become comfortable, but comfort rarely leads to transformation. Every meaningful achievement requires the willingness to stay focused even when easier options are available. The people who accomplish extraordinary things are not necessarily more talented than everyone else. They are often simply more disciplined in how they spend their time. Protect their energy and honor their priorities. Remember that progress is not measured by perfection. There will be days when you make mistakes or fall behind. Discipline is not about never failing, it is about refusing to quit. When disciplined people stumble, they recover quickly because they are committed to the process rather than obsessed with being perfect. They understand that one missed day does not erase months of effort, but giving up completely certainly can. Every new day provides another opportunity to return to the habits that move life forward. When discipline becomes stronger than your excuses, negativity begins to lose its influence. Your confidence grows because it is supported by action instead of wishful thinking. Your goals become clearer because you are moving toward them consistently instead of merely talking about them. Every disciplined decision strengthens your mindset, develops your character, increases your resilience, and proves that lasting success is never the result of temporary motivation, but of unwavering commitment repeated day after day. The environment you choose every day has a greater influence on your future than most people realize. Many individuals believe success is built entirely on willpower, but willpower alone is often not enough. You can have incredible dreams, powerful ambitions, and genuine determination, yet if you constantly surround yourself with negativity, distractions, and unhealthy habits, those influences slowly begin shaping your thoughts and actions. Whether you notice it or not, your surroundings are constantly teaching you what is normal. They influence how you think, how you speak, how you spend your time, and ultimately who you become. If you truly want to rewire your mind for success, you must become intentional about the environment you allow to shape your life. Think about the people you spend the most time with. Every conversation leaves an impression. If you are surrounded by people who constantly complain, criticize, make excuses, or doubt every possibility, it becomes difficult to remain hopeful and motivated. Negativity spreads quietly. It enters through repeated conversations, repeated opinions, and repeated attitudes until you begin thinking the same way without even realizing it. Before long, you find yourself lowering your expectations, questioning your abilities, and accepting limitations that never truly belong to you. On the other hand, spending time around people who believe in growth, responsibility, and continuous improvement changes your perspective. Positive influences do not pretend life is easy. They simply refuse to allow temporary problems to define their future. They encourage solutions instead of complaints. They inspire action instead of excuses. Their mindset becomes contagious because confidence has a way of spreading just as quickly as negativity. Every meaningful relationship should challenge you to become stronger, wiser, and more disciplined than you were yesterday. Your environment extends far beyond the people around you. It also includes the books you read, the music you listen to, the videos you watch, the conversations you participate in, and the information you consume every single day. Your mind cannot always distinguish between what is useful and what is harmful. It absorbs whatever you repeatedly expose it to. If you constantly fill your day with fear, gossip, endless comparison, and meaningless distractions, your thinking begins reflecting those influences. But when you intentionally feed your mind with knowledge, encouragement, creativity, and wisdom, your outlook becomes stronger. Your mental diet is just as important as your physical diet because both determine the quality of your life. Habits are another powerful part of your environment because they shape your days automatically. Every successful person understands that life is largely built by routines rather than occasional moments of inspiration. You do not become confident by thinking about confidence once a month. You become confident by practicing habits that reinforce courage every day. Small routines repeated consistently become powerful over time. Reading for a few minutes each morning, exercising regularly, writing down your goals, practicing gratitude, learning new skills, and reflecting on your progress may seem like simple actions, but together they reshape your identity. Many people wait until they feel different before changing their habits. They believe confidence must come first, then action will follow. In reality, action often comes first. Every healthy habit creates evidence that you are becoming the person you want to be. Every disciplined decision sends a message to your brain that growth is your priority. Your habits are constantly voting for the kind of person you are becoming. Every choice either strengthens your future or strengthens your excuses. It is equally important to remove the habits that quietly steal your potential. Wasting hours comparing yourself with others, surrounding yourself with constant negativity, procrastinating on important responsibilities, or filling every free moment with distractions slowly weakens your focus. These behaviors may provide temporary comfort, but they rarely produce lasting fulfillment. Success often requires subtracting unhealthy influences before adding positive ones. Sometimes the greatest breakthrough comes not from doing more, but from removing what has been holding you back. Your physical surroundings also matter. A cluttered space often creates a cluttered mind. An organized environment encourages clarity and concentration. When your workspace is prepared, your goals are visible, and your daily routine supports productivity, your brain spends less energy fighting distractions and more energy creating progress. Small adjustments to your surroundings can produce remarkable improvements in your focus because your environment either encourages success or quietly works against it. Another essential habit is protecting your time. Every day you are given the same 24 hours as every successful person who has ever lived. The difference is not the amount of time available, but how it is invested. Successful people guard their attention carefully. They know every unnecessary distraction, every negative conversation, and every wasted hour takes them further from the future they are trying to build. They choose activities that strengthen their purpose rather than weaken it. They understand that every decision about time is also a decision about the person they are becoming. Creating a powerful environment does not happen overnight. It is built one decision at a time. Every encouraging conversation, every inspiring book, every disciplined habit, every healthy routine, and every positive influence becomes another brick in the foundation of your future. As these choices accumulate, your mindset becomes stronger, your confidence becomes steadier, your actions become more intentional, and your daily habits begin working together to create the success you once believed was beyond your reach. Every person dreams of a life without obstacles, but the truth is that challenges are not interruptions to success. They are part of the journey toward it. Every setback, every disappointment, every unexpected failure carries within it an opportunity to become stronger than you were before. The people who achieve extraordinary things are not those who avoid hardship. They are the ones who learn how to use hardship as fuel. Instead of allowing obstacles to break their spirit, they allow those same obstacles to build their character. They understand that the greatest growth often begins at the exact moment life becomes difficult. When something goes wrong, your first reaction often determines what happens next. Many people immediately ask, "Why is this happening to me?" That question places all attention on frustration and disappointment. It encourages the mind to search for reasons to feel defeated. But there is another question that changes everything. What can this experience teach me? That simple shift transforms your perspective. Instead of becoming trapped by the problem, you begin searching for the lesson hidden inside it. Every challenge has something valuable to offer the person who is willing to learn. Failure is one of life's greatest teachers, yet it is also one of the most misunderstood experiences. Society often treats failure as something to fear, something to avoid, or something to hide. In reality, failure is simply feedback. It shows you what worked, what didn't work, and where improvement is needed. Every successful entrepreneur has experienced rejection. Every champion has lost competitions. Every great leader has made mistakes. The difference is that they refused to let failure become their final destination. They used every setback as information that helped them improve their next attempt. Think about how diamonds are formed. They begin as ordinary carbon buried deep beneath the earth, exposed to extraordinary pressure over time. Without that pressure, they would never become valuable. Human character develops in much the same way. Difficult seasons reveal strength that comfortable seasons never could. Patience is developed while waiting. Courage is developed while facing fear. Determination is developed while overcoming resistance. Without challenges, many of your greatest qualities would remain hidden. It is easy to believe in yourself when everything is going well. Confidence feels natural when success comes easily. The real test begins when life refuses to cooperate with your plans. There will be moments when doors close unexpectedly. People may reject your ideas. Opportunities may disappear. Plans may fall apart despite your best efforts. Those moments often feel painful, but they are also defining moments. They reveal whether your confidence depends on circumstances or whether it is rooted in your commitment to keep moving forward regardless of the outcome. Resilience is not something people are born with. It is built through repeated experiences of getting back up after being knocked down. Every time you refuse to quit, your resilience grows stronger. Every challenge you overcome increases your belief that you can handle whatever comes next. Confidence is not created because life becomes easier. Confidence is created because you prove to yourself that you can survive difficult situations without giving up. Many people spend too much time trying to avoid discomfort. They stay inside familiar routines because they fear uncertainty. Yet growth has never lived inside comfort. Every meaningful achievement requires stepping into situations that feel unfamiliar. Learning a new skill feels uncomfortable. Starting a business feels uncertain. Speaking in front of an audience feels intimidating. Leading others feels challenging. These experiences may create temporary discomfort, but they also create lasting transformation. Every time you move through fear instead of away from it, your comfort zone expands and your potential grows. Another powerful lesson challenges teach is humility. Success can sometimes create overconfidence, but setbacks remind you that there is always more to learn. They encourage you to become a better listener, a better learner, and a stronger leader. Instead of assuming you already know everything, challenges invite you to remain curious. Every mistake becomes an opportunity to gain wisdom that cannot be learned through comfort alone. It is also important to remember that setbacks are temporary, even when they feel permanent. During difficult seasons, emotions often convince you that things will never improve. Yet every storm eventually passes. Every night gives way to morning. Every difficult chapter eventually becomes part of your story rather than the end of it. Looking back on your life, you will likely realize that some of your greatest blessings came disguised as disappointments. Opportunities often appear only after old plans have fallen apart. The strongest people are not those who have lived easy lives. They are those who have faced hardship without allowing hardship to define them. They refuse to become bitter because of pain. Instead, they become wiser because of it. They choose growth instead of resentment, action instead of self-pity, and hope instead of despair. They understand that every challenge gives them another opportunity to strengthen their character and prepare for greater responsibilities. Your future is not determined by how many obstacles stand in your way. It is determined by how you respond when those obstacles appear. Every setback can either become a wall that stops your progress or a stepping stone that lifts you higher. Every difficult experience gives you the chance to develop greater resilience, deeper wisdom, stronger discipline, and unshakable character. The person you become while overcoming life's greatest challenges is often far more valuable than the success you were pursuing in the first place.